So you joined me on a quick interview with Chili. So to ask you a couple of questions. What's your most used rig?
Right, rigs. The subject of rigs bores me to death, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the mechanics right, it's okay. My favourite and most used rig, probably 75-80% of the fishing I do, is a simple bottom bait rig. 6 inches of strippable dark Camotex, size 6 or 7 SSC hook, a long hair attached to a PVA bag, the size of which will be dictated by the distance I want to catch. And that's it really. I do use stiff link pop-ups when I'm using a spread of boilies, but in the main it's my little bottom bait rig, quite a short hook link, a hook link of 6 inches with a long hair and a relatively small hook.
So you go with the keep it simple method, do you? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's no need to compensate it. People think that they're overcomplicating things to get over a fish's intelligence, which they don't have. What you're trying to compensate is feeding that isn't necessarily as hard as you'd like it to be, and a very, very advanced filtration system in their mouth. It's nothing to do with intelligence. I wish people would get that out of their minds. Once you keep it simple, you'll be able to enjoy fishing a little bit more.
Right, thanks for that. Next question is, what flavour and baits do you use and how do you fish them?
Well, I've been a mainline bait user for the best part now of 25 years. And I've used all of their baits all the way through, and I've enjoyed massive success on all of them. I do have some favourites along the way. The Assassinate I thought was awesome. Activate is historically one of the most successful baits going. Unbelievably, people might not realise this, I have never ever used a cell boilie, the biggest selling boilie by some considerable margin in the history of carp fishing. I went from the Pulse, which I'd caught personal best, common and mirror on. I went on to the New Grange after that, and unbelievably the second carp I caught on that, on the second night I ever used it, was a target fish of just over 44 pounds. They are incredible baits. They work everywhere I go and in every season. So it's going to be mainline baits, and probably my favourite out of all of them, and I suppose there's always going to be a favourite, is the Pulse.
Well, got a couple more questions. Next one is, have you got any stories about your life as a carp angler?
I've got hundreds of stories.
What would you say the best one is then?
The best one? I don't know, because you can view things from maybe a charity thing or whatever. I'm not a great football fan, but before the 2010 World Cup, I went and partook in an interview between John Terry and James Corden. John is, I don't know him, but I found him a completely and utterly different person to the way he's portrayed in the media, and I probably should have changed my underpants about 100 times. I was peeing myself with James Corden, who was an incredible man and wrote the most wonderful note to my wife, who isn't very well. Incredible. I could go on forever. Meeting your heroes, Chris Yates, is a wonderful thing. But I think probably if I had to pick it, the best bits are meeting people that enjoy their fishing. Not people that think they've got to catch a big carp to be the best or to get their ego massaged. Fishing is there for enjoyment, and for the vast majority of people to escape from the world, from the real world. So the trick is to use it that way, you know. And I think the biggest thing is the different people that I meet along the way. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, next question is, what did you fish for before you became a carp angler?
I come from the West Country, and people of your age won't realise this because carp are everywhere. Back in the 1960s and 1970s in Bristol and safer there, we didn't even know carp had evolution had invented carp. So I started off fishing mainly for trout, because I could knock them on the head and sell them to my neighbours. Perch, gudgeon, roach now and again. I didn't catch carp till I was sort of 17, 18 years old, and I would suggest I learned more about fishing because of that than somebody that goes in a shop, buys a load of carp fishing rods and throws out what in essence is a rig that does everything for you. I learned how to fish, and I think a lot of people, their carp fishing would benefit from that. But I learned to fish with all
trout.
those other species and pike and all the rest of it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I obviously make a living out of carp fishing now, but it was those lessons learned as a kid growing up that taught me to be a better angler, for sure.
Yeah. So I've got 2 questions left. Next one's, what's your most treasured fish you've caught?
The most treasured fish I've caught. When I was I was a lot younger than you. Actually, in 1966, my parents bought me the book Stillwater Angling by Richard Walker, who caught the British record back in the early 50s. And I sat and read that book that day, and there was a chapter called Carp, and then another chapter called Big Carp. And it amazed me. It absolutely amazed me. And all I ever wanted to do was catch a carp comparable to his record.
Yeah.
And in 2007, at the end of March, after 3 hard winters, I caught a lot of carp out of there, but because I was catching so many fish, I always felt further and further away from getting the fish I wanted. But at the end of March 2007, I caught it. It was a fish called Charlie's Mate from Frimley.
Yep.
It weighed a whole 4 ounces bigger than Walker's record, which is a completely irrelevant thing. A 44-pound common is a very special fish, but when you spent 41 years trying to catch it, it makes it even more special.
Yeah.
And that was the one.
Yeah. Well, our next last question is, can you tell us anything about your book?
It's my 3rd book. The first book I ever wrote was Tackling Carp. I did that through Quiller Publishing. It's a technical book purely. And in 2009 I wrote Light My Fire, which is like a little bit of my battle cry when I've caught a big fish. And
heard that in the videos.
I do say it a lot, but I wanted to write a follow-up which goes from directly from the moment I pushed my barrow away for the swim when I caught Charlie's Mate, which I spoke about, up until October 2015 when I caught another massive common, and that's where I ended the book. But it encompasses everything about carp fishing from my point of view. A lot of people, when they write books, just want to write about big carp, get their ego massaged and everybody thinks they're great. I think it is better for the youth, for younger people to understand what it takes within this industry to maintain it. I've been doing this now for 20 years. And it isn't as easy as some people would have you believe. But yeah, there's a lot more to it with magazine writing, making TV programs, doing internet stuff. I've done stuff for Sky TV, BT Sport. There's a lot more to it. Yes, now and again I can chase the fish I want, but a lot of the time I'm creating things and supporting the companies that support me. And I think loyalty is probably one of the greatest things in life. And if you can show a bit of loyalty, then you'll go a long way.
Yeah.
And that's really what my carp fishing is all about. And I love every bit of it.
Yeah. So you've joined us here on Fishing Crusaders with chillcott, also known as Chili. Hope you see you next week. See you later.
Sounds good.